Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel DevOps Codex. In this brand new series, we are going to dive deep into the Docker, the tool every DevOps engineer, SRE, platform engineer, backend engineer should know. This is the Docker Mastery series, your step-by-step guide to learn the Docker with a real world example, hands-on demos, and the practical projects. Whether you are a complete beginner or someone looking to level up your Docker skills, this series is for you. We will start from first container all the way to building the production ready pipelines and real world DevOps workflows. And the playlist is broken into the 9 practical sessions to keep the things simple and structured. As you can see in my screen here, this is the first playlist, first section where we are going to cover about Docker basics for absolute beginners. Here we will cover what is the Docker, Docker architecture, and how we can install the Docker on Linux, Mac, and Windows. Your Docker commands like hands-on basic commands of the Docker. If we talk about the section 2, we are going to cover about the Docker images, Docker containers, and Docker files. We will create the Docker file. With the help of Docker file, we will create the image, run the containers, run our application inside the container. And next, we are going to see how we can optimize the Docker builds and what is the use of Docker dot Docker ignore file, how we can create the multi-stage Docker file for clean images. And in third section, we will cover about the Docker compose. Suppose you have applications, front end, back end, how you can run all the containers at a time. Flask with Redis, with Docker Compose, full demo we will provide using the Docker volumes in Compose, persistent volume to store the data, and how we can pass the envs secrets to our applications inside the Docker container and Docker Compose. And next section is related to now Docker networking. Inside the networking, we will cover about the breeze host over relays and what is the use case where we will use host type, breeze type, and over relays type. And if you're going to run your container on ECS, what kind of networking we will choose, and how the containers communicate with each other via the DNS, how we can set the aliases, these kind of things we can see in our upcoming videos. And the next section will be how we can volume the mount the volumes in the sense storage. And suppose you have the MySQL server, how you can manage the storage if you are running your MySQL server inside the Docker container, how we can take the backups and how you can restore the backups, these things. And what is the use of Dockers inside the CI/CD? If you are running the GitHub Actions, Bitbucket pipelines, the runners are running. What is the logic behind it? Those things we will see. How we can maintain the tagging, versioning, and how we can automatically push the Docker build in the ECR, Docker Hub, or Elastic Container Registry if you are using AWS ECS. And next section related to the security and production readiness. How we can scan our Docker images with the help of Trivy tool, running the containers with a non-root user. What are the best practices that we have to follow? How we can manage the secret securely inside the Docker containers. These things we are going to see one by one. And the next section is it, how we can ship our Docker container and how we can manage those containers with the help of Kubernetes. Here in locally, we will run the Docker containers and we will manage the Docker containers via the Minikube. And the extra and what are the best practices we are following in industry we will cover, and how we can debug the containers. Already I covered the debug related interview questions in my previous videos, and what are the interview questions can come related to these topics. One by one we will see all the things. Means if you are going to follow this series, you will learn from scratch. No need to do the extra preparation for the interview. Here we will cover each and every real-time scenario-based questions. So this is very beneficial for you if you are looking for the Docker Kubernetes related stuff. And next question would be this: who this series is for? This series is for DevOps engineer, SREs and platform engineers, backend developers getting into the containers, anyone preparing for real world interviews. This series is for them. How to use this? How to use the series? Every videos comes with GitHub code, scripts, real world use cases, and interviews takeaways. Follow along by coding as you watch, or bring the entire playlist to build the context fast. Don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and let me know in comment ready to DevOps. Let's level up our DevOps journey one container at a time. This is the DevOps Codex. Let's ship some containers in our journey. Thank you all. Have a good day. Bye.